Let's walk through the measuring process for wood, colonial-style, exterior window shutters. This video is the first in a two-part series that concludes with installing wood shutters. Measuring requires minimal time and basic equipment, including a steel tape measure, sturdy ladder, and notepad and pencil to record your measurements. Wood shutters are built from hand-selected, kiln-dried lumber using time-tested methods for impeccable strength, dimensional stability, and unrivaled beauty. Louvered shutters are constructed with individual slats that suspend between the side stiles. There is space in between the louvers for air to pass. Solid panel shutters come in 3 different designs. Select from raised panel, shaker style, or flat panel shutters. The central solid panel floats between the stiles and rails and is constructed from our composite material for the best overall performance. The combination style incorporates louvers and a solid panel into a single shutter. Premium wood louvered, solid panel, and combination style shutters are an impressive 1.5 inches thick. Board and batten shutters feature vertical boards and horizontal battens. They can be installed using the same methods as the other styles, but may require a different type of hinge to line up with and accommodate the batten position. Both components are 1 inch thick. Economy pine shutters are assembled using the same techniques as premium wood shutters, but are less substantial at 1 inch thick. All wood shutter styles are manufactured to the 1/4 inch in both width and height. Wood Bahama shutters are also available, but require a different measuring procedure. See our video on how to measure for Bahama shutters. There are 2 methods that can be used to install wood shutters on an exterior window. Each requires a slightly different approach to measuring. We will provide instruction to measure for stationary shutters in a fixed position next to the window later in the video. But first, we will discuss measuring for functional shutters that utilize hinges to allow shutters to swing or pivot from a position next to the window to cover the window opening. Functional hardware can enhance the overall appearance and is sometimes preferred by homeowners, even though the shutters may never be closed. Measure the window opening depth. If that dimension is greater than the thickness of the shutter and you wish for the closed shutters to nest inside of the opening, measure the width from inside edge to inside edge. Measure in 3 places and note the smallest of these dimensions. Subtract the amount needed for clearance. We suggest a 1/4 inch on each side and a 1/4 inch between the shutters. Divide that measurement by 2 for the individual shutter width. Next, measure from the top of the window opening down to the bottom of the opening. Deduct a slight amount for clearance, and that will become your shutter height. We suggest a 1/4 inch gap between the top of the window and the shutter, and a 1/4 inch between the sill and bottom of the shutter. Shallow windows will not allow for the shutters to nest inside the opening. Therefore, the shutters will install to close in front of the window casing. Measure the width of the window, exceeding the opening on either side by at least 1/2 inch. For this installation, we have opted for the shutters to align with the outside edge of the molding. Subtract a small deduction for clearance, no more than a 1/4 inch, and divide that measurement in half to calculate the individual shutter width. Occasionally, an obstacle can prevent shutters from being used on both sides of the window. It's perfectly acceptable to use a full-width shutter installed on just one side. The shutter height should overlap the window opening by at least 1/2 inch on both top and bottom. We have again chosen to align the shutter height with the top and bottom of the molding. Wood shutters can be made with a divider rail that creates top and bottom sections. Specify the division point for the divider rail by providing the measurement from the bottom of the shutter to the desired center of the divider. Shutters less than 90 inches in height can be made without a divider rail, so the louvers or solid panel area can extend from the top rail down to the bottom rail. Standard surface mount strap hinges and New York-style L-shaped hinges are commonly used to install wood shutters. The pintle segments of the hinge attach to the structure outside of the window opening. If the shutters will close to the inside of a recessed opening, locate the pintle as close to the opening as possible. The strap components slide over the top of the pintles and screw into the top and bottom rails of the shutters. Hinges used to install inset shutters have equal pintle and hinge offsets. Once fully installed, shutters are able to swing open to the side of the window. Throw is the distance from the base of the pintle to the back of the shutter when open. It is equal to the sum of the two offsets. In some situations, a larger throw is needed to swing clear of an obstruction. Take the appropriate measurements to determine that requirement. Shutters that hang in front of the window need pintles with an offset larger than the strap offset, with a difference equal to or greater than the shutter thickness. Wood shutters weigh about 2.5 pounds per square foot and are usually sufficiently supported with just 2 hinges. Larger shutters may benefit from the addition of a 3rd or 4th hinge. Shutter dogs are used to hold shutters in an open position. They rotate to release the shutters, allowing them to close. Stationary shutter measurements are slightly more forgiving because the shutters don't need to operate. Measure the window width from the far left of the trim to the same point on the opposite side. Divide that measurement by 2 for the approximate shutter width. Ideally, the width of fixed exterior shutters should equal half of the window to replicate the appearance of operable shutters. Limitations of the mounting surface may necessitate ordering a slightly smaller size than ideal. Occasionally, an obstacle can prevent shutters from being used on both sides of the window. It's perfectly acceptable to use a full-width shutter installed on just one side. Wide windows require appropriately sized shutters, which in concept should also match the window width. Some windows are simply too wide to conform to standard guidelines and can't accommodate full-width shutters. Try not to arbitrarily choose a width, but attempt to realistically stay within the easily divisible portions of the window. Historically, shutter heights have aligned with the window opening. This approach can cause the shutters to appear short in comparison. In the modern era, shutters installed purely for aesthetics are more frequently made to the same height as the window casing to give greater symmetry to the presentation. Select the dimension that best reflects the character of your windows. Wood shutters install in a stationary position with polycarbonate V-shaped fixed mounting brackets. One side attaches to the building with long stainless steel screws. Shorter screws secure the shutter in place. Record all dimensions. Note that wood shutters are sold individually, so you can order just one if necessary. Label each with a window location. Measure all windows to assure accuracy, and don't assume similar windows are the exact same size. This is a great time to select the shutter finish color, matching to the trim paint or the front door. Choose from our standard array of paint colors, or provide a custom color to match. Order unfinished or primed only to finish on-site. Once your wood shutters are delivered, check out our installation video for helpful tips to get your shutters up safely and efficiently. ShutterLand is committed to helping you select the best exterior shutters for your windows. Visit us at ShutterLand.com. to view our full range of styles and materials, along with detailed specifications, pricing, and ordering. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for great tips and helpful information about exterior shutters.